It's coming up close. Well, at least I think it is. This has got to be the spot. I've never come this way. Let's hope there's parking and no gate. Hey, there's parking. Okay, good. I was about to say, at that perspective, it looked like this place was full. Man. I know you're going to say, it looks like it's been raining out there. Yeah, it rained earlier today. Thank the Lord for that. Gotta have as much rain as possible. It wasn't enough to wash anything, down for us to go looking for the good stuff, the artifacts. It hasn't been like that since like early March. So instead, we're gonna go out and explore. How about that? Man. Haven't been to this side of the park before. Looks like we have endless landscape. Looks like it's also quite the place for the bike. Well, at least I think bikes are allowed. There's a family in the parking lot, they have all the bikes for the family. Father, mother, and the 4 kids. Beautiful trees out here. Look at these. Gargantuan. I mean, not ancient. They will be ancient soon. Soon enough. Well, this is cool. Welcome to heaven. Man, look at this. Imagine if the sun was out. Man, look at that. I'm so glad I came out here today, even though it's still dribbling out here with the water. In a way, it makes it more heavenly. The lake. Man. Oh, so this is where one of the creeks empties into. Check this place out. Look how this sandy creek just flows in this place right here. If it rained like it was supposed to for the past couple months, this would be a whole lot deeper. I'd say at least 3 to 4 feet deeper. Kind of looks like Stone Mountain Lake right here. That's cool how the water's still flowing though. I mean, look at that. Even the duck says so. It still flows until one perfect spot, until it just stops. It's crazy though. Seems like I can never make it out here when the sun is out. I've only been out here twice, and it's been cloudy. Well, somewhat cloudy, you know. Very pretty. I feel kind of out of place though. I mean, this place is surrounded by suburbia. It is. And I mean, I feel out of place because everybody out here is like, what am I trying to say here? It's almost like I'm just using the trails to access the land and explore. I'm out here to explore. You know, look around and landscape and stuff like that. Find giant trees of life to come back and measure later. Have a different kind of experience out here in the landscape. And everybody else is just doing their quick walk around the trail. I mean, the concrete path and stuff. That's what I mean by feeling out of place. Beautiful. Definitely got to keep coming back. Just because of this alone. Because it's pretty. Just like that eye. Pretty. See, we won't be doing that at all, ever, coming out here. We're going to be doing something else. Well, I got to go all the way back to the vehicle. There's something missing from the hands. I was such in a hurry to put on the mosquito spray and jump on out of this place. I mean, jump into this place right here. And I forgot a bottle of water. Because I'll be out here as long as possible. Hey, check this out. I knew I heard something that sounded like a waterfall. I mean, this is crazy. Not in a bad way, though. I mean, check this place out. Imagine how hard the waters would be flowing if this was not here. Hey, now it's starting to remind me of, what's that place called down in Henry County? Little Cotton Indian Creek or something like that. But check this out right here, man. Look at the Heavenly Beaver Dam they got out here. That's crazy. See, even beavers know how to make it heavenly. Did that sound right? I mean, look at how the water just flows over their little dam to make a waterfall out here. They got that smooth current going on out here. It's not too rough. They got their own little waterfall that they built. I guess they know what we're looking for when we come to this place. That's wild. Thanks for that one, Beavers. I can definitely imagine what this place would look like in the mid to late fall. During the early morning. Also with the fog coming through. Cutting through the landscape after a night of heavy rain in late spring. Imagine the kind of images that you can get out here. What a beautiful heaven out here. It is. The green landscape. Man, it's like deja vu up in this place. Of course I just left out of here to go get the bottle of water. I'm not going to say that it would be nice or better if the sun came out. We deserve the rain. We need it. We should be thankful for what we got. Hold on, man, dang. People at it again. Gotta get that thing. We'll get more points for today. The second I tried to go, 4 people just passed me, so I had to play it off. Yeah, I know there's a trail here. But I'm the shadiest looking human being every time I go out someplace, you know. I just like to get away from the crowd, you know. I mean, perfect example right there. 4 people just passed within like 12 seconds when I'm out here trying to explore hardcore in this wonderful heaven. Ain't nothing like trying to get to know a place. See, I'm always going to go off the beaten path. I know you guys are going to argue you shouldn't be doing that. Well, if you stick to the normal way of life out here, you'll never make new discoveries about places or yourself, you know. Alright, should I follow the trail or should I just like ping my location and just cut through the landscape, hoping for the best? And you know what I mean by hoping for the best. The best experience. I mean, okay, so it all depends on the landscape. You know, there's so much. See, look, we're at Stone Mountain. We're down by Stone Mountain Lake. Man, quit doing that thing. Stop it. Yeah, but dang. I'll tell you what though, I better not see any garbage out here. You know I'm looking. But I tell you what though, I see a can already, crap, against the base of a tree. But I'll tell you one thing though, guys. What the heck was that explosion? Don't tell me they're blasting at Stone Mountain back in like the 1920s. What the heck are they trying to get me to do today? What the heck was that? Hold on. Alright, so what's my breath? Right against this tree right here. Hold on. I just saw in the corner of my eye there was like a big mist, like a light at the base of this tree in the center. I saw it at the corner of my eye. I'm waiting. I doubt I got that on camera. Man, I'm gonna have to take a look at that. That was strange. I know I saw something. Let's hope it's not the mosquito spray in my eye. Let's get the garbage. Yeah, there's more garbage out here. Man, dang. There's some to my left, and they're gonna fill up a bag, kind of. You know, they're just the big, dang gas station cups. Ain't nothing like cleaning heaven. That's a whole lot better. For one little zone, it makes it better. You know what? I'm thinking. I wonder if the natives are out here. I would say yes. I would. Let's go ahead and mark it down as yes. I think that's the little Mulberry River or something like that behind us. Little tiny thing that the beavers dammed up. Hold on. I gotta get the knees ready. It comes with a spoon, so I gotta prepare for that. Ain't nothing like trying to make a difference out here. That's a whole lot better. I know it doesn't take up too much room, but I'm gonna show you something back here. When I first got on the trail, yeah, I'll take you back there. It's why I commented up here earlier about the natives being out here. You guys are gonna love this. Man. But I want to tell you something though. You can't touch it. You cannot pick it up. You cannot take it. Let's go back there. Here it is. You can't touch it. You can't do anything with it. Boy, is this such a great discovery. Very unnoticeable, but I notice everything a mile away. You already know what that is. It's a piece of Native American pottery. No, I'm not about to pick that thing up. It's illegal. There is a piece of Native American pottery practically right on the trail. So that is proof that they lived out here. What you know about that? What a great discovery. Man. See, times like that, I don't know if I should just toss it up in the woods or what. You know, someone else might see it. That's going to make me have to go back tomorrow when I get to work or something, when I get home, and look back at historical aerials to see if this place was like cleaned out. As far as like the farmland and stuff. If this was still trees, or what? Or if this was like the grasslands and all. It's right next to the creek right here. What a great discovery. Thank you, Lord, for that one. Always looking for proof. And there's a loud group coming down the trail. I can't even hear myself talk. There's another trail to the right, though. You know what? All right, so you know I never, well, I don't go looking on land. I don't. My historical recovery sessions are, dang it, that scared the crap out of me. Out of the corner of my eye, it looked like somebody was standing right here walking towards me. That's why I jumped right there. But let me get back to what I was talking about. Never ever in my videos. You know, my historical recovery sessions are always about, like, looking in the creeks. That's it. And surface collecting in the creeks. I never get around looking on lands and stuff like that because I always was doubtful that you would ever see anything historic, such as what we found. And we found it today. But see, the stuff in the creek, it always usually comes from a long distance away. It comes from a far distance. That pottery right there is proof, right there, that they were right on this land right here. And that is perfect discovery in itself. But here's the thing about that notion though. Since the pottery and all the other stuff that we find in the creeks, those little tiny creeks and all, since it comes from a long distance, you can't really figure out where it came from. You can't do EVP sessions or anything like that. I've done a couple of EVP sessions when I found a couple of pieces of pottery in a creek, and I would ask, am I getting close to location? And someone would say on audio, the ones out here, those areas where I was located, they would say far away. You know, stuff like that. But now since I found that down there, that means I can do an EVP session out here. Who knows what we might capture on audio. Today's not the day. No, today's not the day. There's too much banging on leaves with the water drops. Now I have a place I can come to try to capture them on audio. Well, I capture them on audio all the time. You know, there's proof in my audio, you know, in my videos that they were all over the place. The native peoples. But who knows what I can capture in a place like this, knowing that they now were on the lands. Because the proof back there, one little tiny, tiny, tiny piece of evidence. Tiny piece of evidence. That's great. That's great. That's perfect. Wonder where they went. Wonder what they had out here. You know? I mean, just because that little puzzle piece back there is going to cause you to try to put the puzzle back together out here. And you could spend years out here doing video, audio, trying to discover the past, the way it used to be out here. What language they spoke. All that kind of stuff. But you know, it's not going to be good with that either. You got the gunfire and all the battle of man versus nature out here, building the new subdivisions. That endless battle, of course. Only at the beginning. What's up with these ditches, though? Probably created by the owners of the land a long time ago. See, there go the bombs going off. Battle of man versus nature. I'm not getting any strange feelings, though. I'm not. I gotta wait for the perfect day to do something, though. I mean, no raindrops on the leaves. No sounds of hammers, saws in the background. No people screaming. It's got to be completely silent out here for us to pull some kind of EVP session. You know what though? I mean, that one piece of pottery back there. I know you're going to say, but you know, there's a lot more out there. It's got to be. That's common sense. That cannot be the only piece. But you know, you'll never see anything else. You'll never see anything else. But the thing is like, if they had a community out here, well, you know, they did. What am I saying if? They had a community out here. Which means they have graves out here too. It could be just one, it could be 5, it could be 55. It could be 18. But you know there's more than one. And I guarantee you, they will tell us exactly where they are. This could be some kind of old road that zips to the left. Reference picture. No, that's not from the native days. Ain't nothing like exploring. You don't ever know what you're going to come across. I'm trying to get up to this terrace level right here. It's leveled off on one spot. Dang, does that ever sound like a battle? And nature trying to hang on out here, the forest. And mankind keeps fighting back. Well, let's not say fighting back. Let's just say mankind trying to fight them while they're trying to hang on for dear life. Congratulations, graduate. Look, we found our goal for today. Oh, cool. I didn't see these guys sitting right here. Look at the baby armadillos. Usually they run off real quickly. See, even they are trying to survive out here in their little habitat. I mean, their large, extremely large habitat out here. Do they attack? Do they chase after you? I don't know. They don't even notice me though. How come even they don't see me? I'm looking. There's something strange right here. I thought it was like a rock wall or something like that. It's just a giant boulder. I said a ways back, I said I was out here to pick up the garbage on their land out here. You know, the natives. In case, I know they're watching me. I know they're out here. I know they are. So I have to tell them what I'm doing on their land out here. I'm just picking up. Oh, I was looking at that white cord. Look at them, they're getting closer. Oh no, they're going home. They're scared. My bad, guys. Crap. I don't mean to scare you in your little heaven out here. I mean your large heaven. I'm just looking around. I'm trying to pick up the garbage. Don't go tell mama and daddy on me. They're gonna come out here and, you know, attack. If they do attack. I see something. It looks quite large. No, not over here. Up there on the hill. Looks like a giant boulder. You got some large white oaks up in this place right here. I mean, they're not too large. I mean, they're large for us because we technically don't let trees get this old. I mean, really though, that's not funny. Here's this one right here. Why am I always whispering? It's like the further I get out in the middle of nowhere, the more I whisper. Yeah, that one's more than 100 right here. It's the king and watcher of this side of things. Yeah, that one's well over 100. I'd say at least 123 right here. 103 years old. 123, excuse me. It's at least 90, I know that much. Ain't nothing like exploring. You never know what you're gonna come across. It's like an overhang for the little ones. Way too small for the ancient peoples. Unless there was like a torrential downpour and you had to just like hunker down. Watch somebody be standing right up here. I saw a piece of garbage. Over here to the left, it might be a little bit too big to pick up though. Look at this trail that comes around. Right here. Well, there's a trail. Where's the garbage can? Nothing? How? Because it's a painter's hat. No, it's nothing but a pile of rocks. A small pile of rocks. That's crazy though. I haven't seen the typical fieldstones though. The typical humongous piles of fieldstones all over the place. I haven't seen anything like that yet. I see some grass up on a hill. I bet it's old home site up there. Anytime you see grass like that in a clearing, that means it could have been all home site. Oh yeah, here's the park boundary. Gotta be. I can read what the sign says, 1,000,000,000,000 miles away. I'm not gonna tell you what that says. You already know what it says. At least I'm still in park space. Well, fine, I'll tell you what it says. Entering private property. Those are property pins, property markers right here. Stakes in the ground. All right, good. Park boundary. Yeah, this had to have been an old home site. It's got the typical grass. It's up on some kind of weird incline. We got a bunch of markers and stuff out here. This might be the corner of the property. I mean the park space. Where's the large 248-year-old pine? I mean, not, well, pine tree too, yeah. Oak tree. Ow, oops, sorry, briars. It's kind of eerie with the music in the background. I know you can't hear what they're saying or what kind of music it is. The way it filters to the landscape, I doubt I'll get any kind of copyright strike for this one. It's kind of eerie though, the way things play out through the landscape, you know. I mean, when I was further down here, listen to the Battle of Anghiari go on. Man battling nature. Nature battling back with the life that it represents out here. The life that just keeps on going with this energy. A different kind of energy. Yep, here's a trail. Not a typical trail, it's an exploring trail. For young ones like us. That's exactly what that is. Oh crap, there's a main trail down there. Dang it. Something I don't want to be seeing. Yeah, but there's like an eerie effect, if you haven't noticed, that when the kids are yelling and screaming from the playground, the way the noise filters through the landscape, it sounds like a woman crying. I mean, we're too far away from that right now. But earlier, I don't think I got it on camera though, on audio. But there were so many kids that are playing on the playground when we were a lot closer. And the kids like yelling and screaming at each other sound like a lady crying. With the sound of the nail guns going off at the same time as we're transferring our bodies through this place right here. There goes another bomb. Can't tell if that's natural or placed by the hands of mankind right here. Yep. There's definitely got to be some kind of major trail close by. This is not a deer trail. Look for a geocaching box. If there is one, it's going to be tight in there. Well, you're right. It could be an animal trail. I don't see any treasure. Dang, we're so close to that development, you can hear the compressor running right now. That's because they're up on a hill. Always gotta look for the geocaching box. Nothing. Property line. Crying shame. Don't tell me they're tagging this place for development on this side. I bet they are. You're gonna say, what is it to you? Well, it matters a lot. It should matter to everybody. The more you spread out. I don't want to say the worse it gets. Thank you, birds, for drowning out the music in the background. No copyright strikes. The birds are trying to protect us. What they're singing instead. Ooh, when you see the side of another hill, you know this place can be endless. What the heck is this thing? A giant mound of dirt with no explanation. Well, somebody was digging. But why? Probably just soil studies, all that kind of stuff. What the heck is a TV set doing out here? Oh yeah, I see an old road. I see an old road right here. I see the two dips with the elevation in the middle. Seems like we have an old garbage dump right here on the side of the road. Empty glass bottles. Old TVs from like 19. You're gonna tell me, why don't you take that to the garbage can? Yes, leave it. Gotta leave it. I mean, it's glass. I mean, you'll love to find that 588 years from now, wouldn't you? So I'm not taking it. But how strange would I look on the main drag down here, carrying an old school TV with me, trying to find the nearest garbage can. All right, we're on the top of the crest, the ridge right here. Usually through the landscapes like this, there's always the main road. Every time they drop something out of the sky, they want me to take a closer look at something. That was humongous, whatever it was. All right, listen closely. Listen to the music. Listen to what they're doing to us now, out here in the landscape. What does that sound like to you? Native American singing. That's scary. The Spanish music, the way it transfers through the trees and landscape, it gets filtered in a certain way, where it sounds like Native Americans singing out here. Listen to that. Got another one. How's it going, Angel Tree? Welcome to heaven. Thank you for keeping it more heavenly out here. Thank you for filtering the Spanish music through the landscape to give us the sound of the natives, the voice of them, the singing of them. Got the old farming hedges right here. Man, would you look at the canopy? There's a bunch of this stuff out here. A ripped balloon. Or picked up about 35 pieces of it. Ain't nothing worse than coming across tiny little pieces of stuff, you know. You talk about taking a lot of time. Man, is it heavenly in here. What is it about these canopy zones, though, that are just like so heavenly? I know what it is. I've always known it. It's the comfort of nature. What it gives you. Security. Someone just said yes. Right here. Holy crap. Are you female? Someone just said yes right here when I just said that. The canopy gives, well, at least it gives me the comfort of nature, like the security of it. Like a house to live in. A roof over your head. It's exactly what it gives you. You know, all bushes are not always bad, you know, they're not. Even if you might consider some things weeds, you gotta think about the larger picture. When they grow up to be big, they give you that sense of security. Like you're inside of a house. You get that cover, that roof over your head. And they provide that feeling for you. Even if you're homeless. If you have nothing, you walk out into places like this and you feel at home. You feel like you're at home. Now it's like I can't even leave because I feel at home. What the heck is going on with this life of mine? It's like planet Earth. It's your home. Uh-oh, we got tree. That is 3. They know what I like to do a long time ago. They know what I love looking for. What I love doing. Finding the 3 and building towards the sky. You guys are practically like 1 in a million in heaven. Always looking for you when I was younger. When I was a child. Have to cover the landscape hardcore to find the 3. And just build triangles all the way up. As high as I can get them. The levels. A little bit too old for that now. Or am I? Yeah, we're at the tail end of the park, the extreme corner. Or we're the furthest away from anything that has to do with like safe locations. I mean, I know the trails like zigzag through these places right here. Ain't nothing like exploring. I'm trying to get away from the farmland and get deeper in. Who knows what else we might come across through the landscape. I hear some running water. I bet it's just off some kind of outcropping bedrock or something like that. I don't know why I'm going in this direction though. I guess because I'm trying to spot the big ones. I thought I heard somebody talking. They just said like one word right here. They sounded so close. I thought somebody was standing right next to me. All I see is this little tree right here. It looks like a trail tree. You know it's not. It's too small. It's a black cherry tree, I think. Yeah, it's a black cherry tree. Welcome to heaven. Well, we never left heaven today. We're still here. Man, check this out. Ain't nothing like exploring. You don't ever know what you're going to come across. Just don't slip. Man, we're asking for trouble right here. If I see one piece of garbage, I might cry. Could you imagine the carvings? That is, if there were any. I don't think I have time to look today. A lot of lines, though. What a beautiful place. I'm so glad I finally came out here today. You know, it's like what I'm going to say. You know the natives had to be out here. Ain't nothing like community service, especially in a place like this. No garbage. Perfect. That's one of those places you got to look behind the walls where people sit. Because the dishonest ones, the first thing they do with the garbage is toss it behind the wall. What the heck is going on down here? What the heck is that noise? Sounds like somebody like me up here. Exam glove. Don't tell me someone had a slipping accident down here a while back. Oh, it's just the water. Sounds like someone was in trouble. Yeah, that sounds like someone's flapping, but it's not. It's the water flapping. Hey, they got the guardrails on that side. What a wonderful place. Time to cut the videos short. Only time for about maybe 5 more. Let me grab this nasty thing right here. It's not going to kill us. Nothing worse than iPhone memory full. And I went all the way back to the first one thinking, oh yeah, it's been like a month since I emptied this thing out. No, the first video that I shot in this iPhone so far, in this segment to make it all full, the first one is just from last weekend. Man, that's crazy. It seems that that's all I do is record. Guess what? I think I found it. Check out the size of this lady right here. Man, another 250-year-old white oak. Another one. Thank you, Lord. Well, at least I think she's a white oak. Look at the size of this waistline. Yep, she's a white oak, all right. Look at those lobes on the leaves. Well, you can't tell, my bad. She's at least 250. I know that much. Easily 250. Well, the last one that's not too far from here that we recovered was 270 just about. And they're almost the exact same size. Perfect. Thank you, Lord, for his find today. She's more than over 100 years old. Crazies.
¿Qué más te preguntaron la última vez?
Presidente del partido del presidente.
That tree is over 200 at least. Man, check out this scene. Look how we make the entrance. Look how we enter this place. Next to a tree of life. Welcome to heaven. Well, another part of it. My bad. The only material thing that I was able to recover out here last year was a $250 to $300 pair of sunglasses that I found in the grass. What you know about that? Beautiful. Not a lot of places like this exist anymore, unless you go deep out in the country. And I'm talking about deep out into the country. But I learned something new, guided by historical aerials, when it comes to places like this. I'd say about 85% of anything outside of the city limits of Atlanta looks exactly like this. You go all the way back to 1938 until you get to the black zones that are cut out because they didn't cover those parts. And you scan all the way through what is now suburbia, all the way through Cherokee County, you know, Paulding County, Forsyth, all the way to Gwinnett, Hall County, all the other ones, Southeast. And 80 to 85% of the landscape looked exactly like this. A lot of green, a lot of grass, a lot of fields, a lot of farms. It blew my mind though, because I actually thought that all this was nothing but forest land until I decided to go back in time. And these babies like this were far and few between. Even back then, back in like the late 30s. It was all green grass, pastures and stuff. All sorts of fields. There's a lot of green right there. Okay, we are here and we have to go there. Oops, it's not even on the map. Uh-oh. And I got 8% on the battery. What the heck do I get myself into? In order to access the map to get out of here, I have to have battery life. Uh-oh. Hope you like my little heaven videos. I know they're not much. Might have to start thinking about cutting through the woods. I took a wrong turn. They don't have maps out here. What the heck do I get myself into in heaven? Man, I shouldn't have said what I said earlier at the very beginning about the people doing their normal routine out here and walking as briskly as possible and only going to be here for like an hour like this lady right here. Man, dang. Guess what I'm having to do to try to find my way out of here? Walk as briskly as possible.